game that is a necessity playing after a couple of weeks while the players get involved with exams.
Well, they're very involved, Jay, and that's a real difficult time for us because it's hard to practice on a day-to-day basis with the entire team. In other words, if a guy's got a morning exam and half the team have afternoon exams, it's just impossible unless you practice at night and to practice as a unit. And we really can't do that, Jay, because they need the nighttime to study. But we had better practices over the exam period this year than we've ever had, and I think that showed up a little bit in our game against Virginia Wesleyan, who, a Division III team, is a very good basketball team with Rick Chalk, who, number 44, who transferred from Old Dominion. They've got some good players. Here we got down the floor quickly on the break. Nice pass from Kurt Small to Thomas Roberts.
37-23 at the half of this game, Coach. In the second half, it was basically all Tribe. Good defense being shown.
Well, real good by Todd. We felt that Rick Chalk could hurt us. He's a good offensive low-post player. He did hurt us. I think he had close to 20 points. But we were able to do a better job in the second half. There's a nice move. We got to play a lot of people by Stephen Papura. And it's important, of course, that we get to play. We experimented a lot in our first 4 basketball games, Jay, and now we're at the point that we're not experimenting as much. We're trying to go with really a top 7 or 8 people, and it's situational on the other players.
Now we're looking at the Shenandoah footage as Shenandoah came to town a couple of days before Christmas, had a surprise appearance from Santa Claus himself.
Well, he didn't even come over and see me, Jay. I was disappointed, but he did. He was real good to my children, so I'm thankful for that. Nice steal by Brendan Connor. Had just, by the way, had his knee scoped, Jay, for the second time, and was able to make it back in less than 10 days, and we're really pleased. I think one of the reasons we're playing well is Brendan's playing very well. And Brendan really did a nice job out at New Mexico. These 2 games really just helped him get back into physical condition.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, did these 2 games, the wins over Wesleyan and Shenandoah, this final will be 102-74, by the way, did they accomplish the things that you wanted them to accomplish?
Well, as I mentioned, we got to look at a lot of different lineups, and so the answer was yes. We got wins. I really thought that we got to look at some combinations, you know, and look at some young kids like David Cully, who's in there right now, and some freshmen. And so I think it was a very positive beginning for us in helping us get prepared for the New Mexico tournament.
Yeah, we look at Cully right there, and he came in and played well in the New Mexico tournament, particularly against New Mexico.
Well, this was his best game of his career against Shenandoah. I mean, he was the biggest guy on the floor. But he also did a nice job. I think he had 6 points. No, he had 11 points, I'm sorry. And we were able to get on the ball, and he was able to score. There's Jeremy Dean, a freshman from Northern Virginia.
And we'll end it up with a jump shot from walk-on Michael Schaefer. And the final score was 102-74 as the Tribe wins in preparation to go out to the Lobo Invitational hosted by New Mexico in the fabled tent. And we'll come back with highlights from that tournament right after this.
Heaven and earth never agreed better to frame a place for man's habitation. It's the last land of its kind in Williamsburg, the Governor's Land at 2 Rivers. Where the James and Chickahominy rivers meet, there's a residential community of natural beauty, with an island and beach sanctuary, a marina, custom-built homes, a Tom Fazio-designed golf course, and member-owned country club. The Governor's Land at 2 Rivers. Discover it for yourself.
Albuquerque, New Mexico is the place the Tribe celebrated the days between Christmas and New Year's in the Lobo Invitational. As coaches, we go to footage now. How do you pick out where the Tribe will go for their holiday tournament?
Well, we just try to go to different places in the country that we've never been before and experience, something culturally. And we got to taste the Mexican cuisine, and we also got to taste playing in front of about 18,000 people in the pit, Jay. So. It was really a good experience for us. They jumped on us 7-0, and at that point in time, we outscored them 30-11. And it was good to see us get our poise and composure, because if we hadn't, this game could have been over early, Jay.
Yeah, this is a team, New Mexico, that probably should be ranked in the top 20. They had beaten top 25 New Mexico State twice, and the Tribe really hung in there against, well, let's just say a lot of adversity.
We see Brendan making that shot, Jay, and no question that his knee's 100% the way he was playing in this particular basketball game. And he really gave us a lot of leadership. He keyed that assist to Sean Duff. we really shot the ball particularly well in this game, and we lost Kari Jackson, number 33, who's a pro prospect. And of course, if you do that, he's going to do what he just did. Nice play by Thomas Roberts, who played very strong against New Mexico. That was against a guy 6'9" inside, and they really, he got a lot of attention. A good shot by Todd Cawthorn there.
Thomas Roberts, by the way, averaging 20 points a game, and he made the all-tournament team. There's a nice drive by the freshman, Matt Verkey.
Yeah, Matt has really come on for us, and started out here in New Mexico. There's a tough shot by Thomas Roberts, and then a steal by Brendan Connor, and that keyed the 30-11 run in a 10-minute period. The problem was, Jay, we didn't score in the last 5 minutes of the half, where they were able to cut it, I believe, to 6 points.
Incredible to not score in the first 5 minutes or the last 5 minutes and still be up on the Lobos.
Well, we went to a 2-3 matchup zone. That really helped us, and then obviously we played with them the rest of the game. Unfortunately, we didn't come up with the win, and they've got some real good players, some talented people. They get up and down the floor quickly. I thought that we also beat them down the floor a few times and got some easy buckets, and Brendan Connor got his three-point shooting back. He did a nice job in this entire tournament. There's a lob pass to Todd Cawthorn where he just kind of caught the Lobos napping a little bit. Good inside-outside action. That time it stays inside. Great follow-up dunk by Carl Parker. And this was by far Carl Parker's best game. I believe Todd fouled out of this game, and we needed the minutes, and he hit the offensive boards very hard, better than probably anybody's hit the offensive boards for us all year.
And he's a redshirt freshman, right?
He's a freshman, so he's really only played 1 year of high school basketball. And this is a really nice play by Ike Williams. Ike is preseason first-team all-conference in the WAC, and he's a potential pro prospect. He was very good, and I thought that Matt Verkey, a freshman, did a fine job defending a player of his ability, Jay.
Todd Cawthorn fouls out to the delight of about 18,000 fans. Todd plays so hard, he sometimes draws the ire of the opposing team.
Well, he wasted Jackson when he was going in for a dunk. There's a nice follow-up again by Carl Parker, and I think that they took offense to that. But that did hurt us at that point when he fouled out. But I thought that Todd did a tremendous job in this game.
Coach, here's a point right here. The ball will be knocked out of bounds by Kurtzmal. They have 1.9 seconds on the shot clock.
Right, well, we played good defense, and they couldn't inbound it to anybody, and now they had to throw it out and banked in a three-point shot. That's the first three-point shot that their center has hit in his career.
With the shot clock operator asleep at the wheel. Good pass down low to Thomas Roberts.
Yeah, Thomas took it in strong again, and that was probably the shot that broke our back, is that banked three-point shot, because we still had the lead at that point, Jay.
And it's 61-59 here. Tribe's trailing by a couple of points.
Well, the nice thing is every time when they did get the the lead, we just kept coming back and had a chance to win it at the end. That move by Brendan Connor was unfortunate because Brendan really keyed our play, and even though he was stripped from the ball right there, he had just beaten his man on the same move, and I think he kind of expected it.
A lot of coaches, Chuck, say that as we look at the Northwestern footage now, that getting ready for back-to-back nights in this kind of a tournament play is the toughest thing to do. Coaches do not have a lot of time to prepare themselves, nor do they have a lot of time to talk about the team with the players.
Right, no question, and I felt that we told our team that the effort against New Mexico would be wasted if we lost the following night to Northwestern. And there was Kevin Rankin, number 55, who was one of the better centers in the Big Ten, and he had 27 against us and 17 rebounds, Jay. He's a solid performer. And Northwestern does a lot of trapping, and they're really a fairly athletic team. They're not a good shooting basketball team this year, especially with the loss of Todd Leslie, their leading three-point shooter. But we were able to come back the next night and win, and that really gave our team a lot of confidence, Jay.
As well it should have over a Big Ten team in Northwestern. The three-pointers were coming out of everybody's hands. 6 individuals hit one, and right there was Brendan Connor.
Right. Well, Coach Foster told me after the game that anytime you've got 6 different people hitting three-point shots, that you're very difficult to defend. And we were in this particular game, not only because of three-point shooting, but we did execute, as you can see, well here against their trapping defenses. And There we took a 3 against it. We were also able to get the ball inside, but we couldn't go in there on a steady diet because they are big, and Kevin Rankin kind of clogged up the middle very well.
And to David Cox, they leave it open, so why not?
Well, why not is what the coach says when they hit the shot, too. You can see here that right now Northwestern, they keep changing their defenses, and they tried to keep us off balance with that. So I was very pleased to, look at that pass and execution. We really executed well, better than we ever have against trapping defenses, and that hopefully is a good sign of things to come as the season goes on. There's another good play by Northwestern. They are a very physical team.
I think we had 9 dunks and 9 3-pointers, and that's not tough. That's tough to beat.
Well, we had to get the dunks. That showed we were being aggressive, because when they trapped us, Jay, if we were tentative, then we'd have turnovers. But you can see that we're very aggressive in attacking them, and really good pull-up move by Kurt Small.
Matt Verkey got into the 3-point action as, again, that fast break, if you will, and Verkey finds himself open. And I guess you tell the kids, if they're open, fire it away.
Well, we told them that if you're aggressive against a trapping defense, then you're going to have a chance to get 3-point shots and dunks. And if you're not, we're going to get turnovers. And we probably had a few forces, but I'd much prefer that in aggressive play, Jay. And I think our kids really, they were ready to play, and that's the main thing. In a consolation game like this, even though it was in front of 16,000 people, you've got to get yourself ready to play, because let's face it, everybody wants to play in the championship game, and we were disappointed about the loss to New Mexico, but we had really good ball movement. That was one of the things that keyed some of our perimeter shooting. Our kids were stepping up and making shots, and it's almost like the play or the shooting of one player carried over into everybody. Everybody got into the action here.
Kurt Small particularly, he had 19 points, which at that time was a career high, which he'll break in the next game against Campbell.
Well, the impressive thing, Jay, is that he had 10 rebounds. And for a guard, that's good. Our guards are really rebounding well. Here, we really attacked that press real well there, the trap, I should say, Jay. And I don't think that Northwestern thought that we would attack their half-court traps quite that aggressively. Now they're down, they have to trap, and we beat it for a dunk. And, of course, we're playing with a lot of confidence at that point in time.
73-61, the Tribe a winner over Northwestern. And if the Tribe continues to hit those 3-pointers, you notice the type of year that Thomas Roberts is having, a 20-point average right now for one of the leading scorers ever in the history of William & Mary. But he's even going to have a better year because that middle part is down the lane's going to open up more for him.
Right. Well, we're hoping. We are a perimeter-oriented team, as I had mentioned earlier in the year, Jay, and if we can hit the 3-point shots and execute well on the perimeter, it will open things up inside. And Thomas, even though he's defending inside players, he's still playing more like a small forward. He plays back to the basket, but he also has the freedom and flexibility to pop out and hit the 3. And when we do that and have 4 3-point shooters in the lineup at one time, then we are a difficult team to defend.
Tribe had momentum coming out of the Lobo Invitational as they hosted Campbell, and we'll come back with that footage right after this.
U.S. Air Reservations, how can I help you?
Hi, who are you?
2 to Washington, please.
After you.
Yours, sir.
Thanks.
You're traveling light?
Did you have fun flying?
Yeah. You enjoy your flight with US Air?
Now Washington, Orlando.
Thank you for flying on U.S. Air.
You'll hear one word again and again from the people of U.S. Air.
What's better for you?
For one very good reason.
Everything we do.
Campbell Ball Club coach won 19 games last year and went to the NCAA tournament losing to Duke.
All right, well, that's a tough team to have to open up with, Jay. We got off to a great start. You can see our early offense there, our fast break, whatever you want to call it, we really got some easy baskets early, and I think that helped key our good start because we got off to a 28-14 start. And one of their players, Mocknick, basically single-handedly kept their team in the game. There's Kurt Small, who had his career high at 24 points. He played a very good basketball game.
Here's Mocknick, coach. He had last year had 30 points in that game against Duke.
Well, he's as good a shooter as we'll see all year. He is a great 3-point shooter. He's just a pure shooter. And we changed his shot on that the last time, Jay, and he still made it.
Just very fluid. Here's Mocknick, Mark Mocknick again.
Well, he's 6'5",
yeah.
and that's NBA range, and we're on him. And he makes it. So really what we had to do is just keep him from catching the ball, I guess.
Kurt Small makes it as well, and he makes it a 24-12 game, the Tribe leading.
Right. Well, like I said, we got off to a good start, and that's been a concern of mine early. Even when we were winning some games early, we just got off to slow starts, I felt, Jay, and I don't think there's any excuse for that, and we're doing a much better job of it, and there's great inside-outside action. We throw it into Thomas Roberts, he's double-teamed, picks it out to Brendan for a three-point shot, and Brendan was 5 for 8 from three-point line, which is excellent, Jay. Good pass by Kurt Small, and again, we just beat them down the floor. Kids are running the floor hard, they're in good physical condition, and, you know, I hope that we can do that in conference play. There's Mocknick again. He's incredible, Jay. He's really, he could play for about any team in the country as a shooter.
We're not seeing a lot of rebounding by Todd Cawthorn, but talk a little bit about the job that Cawthorn's done this year on the boards.
Well, he's done a great job. Even when he doesn't get the rebound, he's blocking his man out, and that's why Kurt Small had 10 rebounds in this game, is because it puts other people in a position to go get the ball.
And we talked about Brendan Connor coming back from surgery. Are we going to give the surgeon a letter this year?
Well, he might be the MVP on this year's team, Jay. I'm not sure. That's Dr. Ed Wilhelm, and he did a great job, and he scoped it, and he's really feeling no ill effects at all. That was a great pass by Brendan Connor.
Right.
I don't know if you noticed, Jay, but on a couple of Brendan's passes, he doesn't even dribble when he catches it. He just passes as soon as he catches it.
Good pass from the freshman Verkey to Thomas Roberts, and we'll see Todd Cawthorn on a pass from Kurt Small, and that will end the ball game as the Tribe made 18 out of 24 from the free throw line in the last 6 minutes. Campbell is just going to put you at the line the rest of the game.
Right. Well, we made, at one point in that stretch, Jay, we made 12 in a row. And anytime we make 12 free throws in a row, that's the way you want to finish the game. So I was pleased with the way that we finished the game. We did cough the ball up once or twice against their press, and Campbell did a good job against it, but we did make our free throws.
75-59 was the final score. William & Mary now 6-1 on the season. We'll come back with more of the Chuck Swenson Show.
The Chuck Swenson Show with head coach Chuck Swenson and host Jay Colley.
Welcome to the Chuck Swenson Show. Head basketball coach of the College of William & Mary. Got a couple of games to focus on this week. A win at George Mason and a loss at James Madison. The William & Mary on the road 2 games this week, Coach.
Well, that's not unusual for this time of year, Jay. We knew coming up in February that we had a number of road games. It's just the way our schedule worked out. But we've still got 2 home games left, and, of course, the upcoming game at UNC Wilmington.
Yeah, this week is not an off week for the Tribe basketball team because they have an entire week to prepare for UNCW, which is kind of uncharacteristic for February.
Well, as we went through in the last show, Jay, we had a stretch where we had 4 games in a week, twice in a row, and that was 7 games in 15 days. So now, because we went through that difficult stretch, this gives us a little bit of a chance to focus on us. And when you've got 4 games in a week, you've got 1 day to prepare for each upcoming opponent, which really isn't much time at all, and you can't really work as hard as you'd like to because with the game being the next day, you don't want to leave it on the practice floor. In this particular case, we can work very hard today and all week in order to prepare for this particular game.
We'll come back to look at highlights from the William & Mary victory at George Mason right after this timeout.
Yes, the Williamsburg Hospitality House is here. Enjoy our new look and our seasonally reduced room rates. As you head for the stadium or after the game, drop by for food, drinks, and a complete change of pace in our newly redecorated Christopher's Tavern. Enjoy our new and improved menu at our Colony Room restaurant, featuring the Saturday night all-you-can-eat prime rib dinner. The Hospitality House, located conveniently across from Zabel Stadium and 2 blocks from the historic area. Whether you're here for the night, for the game, or just for the fun of it, we'd love to have you as our guest.
Welcome back to the Chuck Swenson Show. We'll first look at George Mason at Mason earlier last week. Mason, a team that obviously has struggled this year, Coach, but it's, you know, I know that every team that plays them feels like that they could get beat that night. It's a tough thing to do to play the last place team.
Well, especially when they're starting a 3-game homestand, which they were against us, and we're down 1 point at halftime. We don't take anybody lightly, and we had to shoot 75% in the second half in order to pull this one out. So we're very, very pleased with our second half effort. And the reason that we had to play that well is because George Mason did play very well and gave us a great first half. And fortunately, our second half, we ran such good offense and scoring 51 points that we were able to put the game away, even though it was on the road.
Let's take a look at highlights. We're at George Mason of the Patriot Center, and, well, the Patriot was ready.
Yeah, I didn't notice him during the game, Jay, but we did have, seriously, a number of our fans up there. I thought we had quite a contingent from Northern Virginia, Washington, D.C., some former students who I knew either in speaking to student groups, Jay, and there's I think that's Thomas Roberts. He came down in a fast break situation, hit a shot. But I was very pleased with the turnout that we had, Jay.
Three-pointers were very important for the Tribe. We've seen them. The Tribe already hit a couple, and good penetration, as always, from Kurt Small.
You can count on that. As I mentioned, he's the most prolific guard in the conference as far as getting fouled. And he's also good at scoring underneath as well. And he tried, I think, to draw contact there, but was able to score without. Great screen there by Todd Cawthorn. Then he rolls. And offensively, this was one of Todd's better games of the entire season, Jay. He was very, very strong. It wasn't the number of points he scored, but the way he scored. He played very strong. He got fouled a number of times, we're going to see later in the game, and still finished the shot.
There's a rare 4-point effort by Thomas Roberts. He made a three-pointer, got fouled, and made the free throw.
Right. We needed a little momentum there, too, because Troy Manns here comes down, good defense, shoots it right in our face. Troy Manns again, left-handed, sticks it on the break with Brendan Connor all over him. So Troy Manns is a very good player. He's leading the league in assists, Jay, and I think that's quite a feat for a freshman point guard.
George Mason has the Tribe where they want them at halftime, trailing by 1, 32-31. But more importantly, William & Mary was, I thought, offensively, as you had mentioned, struggling just a little bit.
Right. Our defense, we held them to 32 points, and we think that's good on a game that's only 64. And we felt that we had to do a better job of moving in the second half. Thomas Roberts did a much better job of playing on the perimeter, Jay, and Thomas had tremendous passes inside to Todd Cawthorn, tremendous passes, and I want to give Thomas some credit that I think he had 68 points, but I think the key was some of the passes that he made. Really good patience there by Brendan Connor finding Todd Cawthorn.
Todd was the recipient of quite a few passes as he had a career-high 24 points and 12 rebounds. A great effort by Cawthorn.
Yeah, Todd, as we mentioned already, played well throughout the game, as did Matt Verke, stepping up, hitting three, and good pass by Todd Cawthorn. Normally a big guy will catch it in that situation, put it on the floor. Todd was very alert and found David Cox for the three-point shot. There he is going inside again. There he is, Todd setting a double screen for Kurt Small. So actually, I give Todd credit for getting Kurt his shot right there.
It just goes back to the old coach's axiom: if you're hitting from the outside, big guys, you're going to get your opportunity. The Tribe hit 10 out of 14 from the three-point line, and because of that, it opened up down low for Todd Cawthorn.
Right, and 5 for 5 from the three-point line in the second half, Jay. So there's good movement by Brendan. And again, he was very alert there. He was looking. I thought Brendan had a great floor game. I don't remember how many points he scored, not many, but just a great floor game. Good early offense, and again, who's spraying the floor, gets fouled and finishes, but Todd Cawthorn. He just had a great game.
And that was at a big point in the game because that, I believe, started a 10-0 run.
Right, and the thing that we were able to do is even when George Mason came back and played arguably very, very good basketball, we kept our composure at the offensive end, and you can see here, I mean, we just kept getting good shots, and we were very patient in our offense, and I think sometimes kids confuse patience with scoring a low number of points. Well, we were patient on offense and had 51 points and a half. I mean, that would have been 102. So, we told our kids before the game we would need a mixture of fast break opportunities and good, patient half-court offense, and we got that.
Mason's trying to make a comeback late in the ball game, and really, I felt pretty comfortable along the press row, Coach. I don't know how you felt over there at courtside, but I never thought George Mason really had a chance with the way things were clicking for the Tribe offensively?
Well, I know I didn't feel as comfortable as you did, Jay, but no, I felt good about the fact that we were always in control, and it seemed like anytime we needed a basket. Here's Todd posting up